AITA for making my aunt leave after she manipulated my mother to stealing 15K from me? Hi, I've been carrying this lately, and I would just like to see different perspectives regarding the matter. I 25F am the breadwinner of my family. We are living in the apartment that I am renting. Me and my dad 51M were the ones who were working before my dad got sick and could not continue his construction work, so all cost was passed down to me. I'm grateful that I'm able to support all of this with my current job. Everything is going well, but went downhill when my aunt from the province started living with us. My mom asked for her sister to stay with us as she got a job here in Manila. I agreed thinking it's only temporary, and I know the feeling of having no one to depend on in the time of need. It's already been more than a year, and I'm regretting my decision. My aunt doesn't contribute with any of the living cost in the apartment. She doesn't do her laundry and would make my mom do hers. She doesn't buy her own food and has a habit of snacking on my dad's fruits in the refrigerator that the doctor recommended for him. My dad also started to spend most of his time in his shed instead of the house because he is not fond of interacting with my aunt. I'm not confrontational, so I often keep my mouth shut and would vent out to my boyfriend 29M or dad instead. The last straw for me was when I was saving up for my sister's 20F laptop. She asked me January that she would need a high-spec laptop in her next semester for digital architecture work. I don't want her to work as that may affect her studies, so I said that I would save for her laptop until August of this year before the new semester start. I religiously put the savings in the box in my room as my savings account was hacked. I listed all the dates and amounts in a notepad in my phone. I computed, and it already totaled to 30K by first half of April. The following week, I got a 15K quarterly incentives for good work performance. I told my boyfriend about it, and he was so happy for me. He suggested that we should buy the laptop already, and that he would pay for what's left of the amount and the upgrades needed. I am so glad, as this mean I would be able to purchase the laptop before August. I counted the money in the box again, but noticed that 15K was missing. I asked my mom, as she is the only one who knows the location of the box, as she often cleans my room. She said that my aunt borrowed the money as she had trouble with her credit card and might lose it if the debt was not paid. I got mad as I felt that the money was taken from me without permission by my own mom. I demanded that my mom asked my aunt to return it immediately. I expressed how disappointed I am with her. I felt all the weight that I am carrying all at once. I found out as well that the reason for the debt was that they bought kitchen appliances. I demanded that I can no longer accommodate her sister under my roof and asked her to find another place to stay. I can take a lot of things, but deceit and lies is my breaking point. AITA? Now to the second story of the day. AITA for leaving my husband because he kept telling his friends that I was to blame for everything? I've been with my husband for 7 years, and it honestly kills me to walk away because outside of this issue, he is fantastic. He takes care of me, loves me, makes sure I'm taken care of, etc., and I love him more than anything. But this issue has been happening for the past year, and it's basically ruined my reputation among everyone. Last year, he started working for a small business and is one of 12 employees. Up until this point, he didn't have many friends. So his social life was heavily stunted, and he craved interaction. So when he started working for this company and was immediately included in everything, he soaked it in. He was being invited to dinner, parties, boat trips, fires, etc. within the first week of working there. By a month in, he was hanging out with these guys nearly every day after he got off work. He started drinking a lot more because all of these men drink like a fish, and he is an individual who cracks under peer pressure and is a follower by nature. He told me several times that he felt like he couldn't say no. It started causing a lot of fights, because I was pregnant when this began and I felt so pushed to the side and forgotten about. He started coming home from 9 p. 1 he was off work at 4:30 p. A few times having stayed out until 5 o'clock in the morning. I started shutting down because I was tired of repeating myself and expressing my needs, just to have him do whatever his friends wanted anyways. After I gave birth to our daughter, he got better for a while. He stopped going out. I think by the time the baby was 3 months old, he had only gone out once. But after that, he fell right back into old patterns and didn't even tell me when he was leaving anymore. I would think he was home, but he had left to go riding four-wheelers with his buddies or to a party down the street. So, a month ago I went psycho. I walked over to the window just as he was taking off on his four-wheeler and watched him pull into our neighbor's yard, a big party spot. I walked down there with the baby and lost my shit on him in front of everyone there and told him I was leaving because he was inconsiderate and neglectful and I was tired of repeating myself. Everyone just sat there staring at me, completely silent. I have never been so embarrassed in my life. I shouldn't have gone up there at all, but in that moment, I just didn't even think about it. Now I regret it. But anyways, he literally looks at me and doesn't say anything. Comes home 30 minutes later and goes to sleep on the floor. He stopped going out after that. But I started noticing that everyone was treating me like crap. If I spoke to anyone, they would just look at me and walk away, or they would avoid me altogether. It became very awkward, and I stopped going outside at all and started isolating. Well, I overheard my husband on the phone last night saying, "I know, man. I wish I could come, but Hannah won't let me." Followed by a "I know, it's bullshit." I asked him who he was talking to. He hangs up. I asked to see his phone, and he kept asking why, but eventually gave it to me. There were tens of texts to his buddies blaming me for him not going out, saying, "Hannah won't let me," or "Hannah said no," or "I can't fucking do anything because Lord forbid I get time to myself after busting my ass to keep a roof over her head." He had not asked me one single time if I minded if he went out. So he just told them no and blamed me without even running it by me. This is not who my husband was before he got tied in with this group of coworkers. I just start packing up me and my daughter. He was following me around the house, begging, crying, telling me not to leave, apologizing. Before I left, I said, "I've sat by and dealt with being chose second to a bunch of people who would never choose you first, and you still blamed me and made me look like the one in the wrong. Now you can live the life you want without me controlling you. I am at my mother's and have told him not to contact me unless it's about our child. My best friend is telling me I need to work it out because my husband is truly a great guy, and I know this isn't him. But I can't trust him anymore. AITA,